Hello and welcome back to Inquisitor Martyr. Last time we finished off the last of our priority assignments, so now we just do whatever. The plan is to avoid crusades. I have all my shards stored. The problem is I don't have 4 of any of them. I seriously have either 1, 2, 3 of any one type. So I'm kind of stuck. So for, honestly, the foreseeable future, we're just going to run Intel. It rewards a decent amount of void shards, void shards. So we'll probably get one running eventually. And I don't have to, I'm going to read a little bit, but I don't have to read, like, this little blurb of using warp surge to induce communications. Nobody cares. Chaos is here. We go slack. But I can use Uther's Tarot to change this. Dying fails the mission. Yeah, sure, why don't we just make it more difficult for myself? 2 more levels. Well, what the hell? 103% damage suffered. That's actually kind of terrifying. Whatever. What do we want? Might as well just keep going for relics. You start with only 1 life, but a leader villain kills add 1 more. But dying fails the mission. Yeah, good setup.
Your sensorium feed is up and running. Target coordinates decanted. Excuse my high gothic, but someone must be really desperate or mad to send an Inquisitor to take out field artillery units. Take care down there.
Ooh, those AA batteries are going to be a problem. But as long as it's just trash guardsmen, I'm fine. If I have to fight a tank, I'm going to be struggling. But I was looking online. Oh crap, Black Legion. I was looking online because I was thinking to myself, man, I haven't heard anything in regards to this game, like the next season. We've been on season of the Warp Surge for a while. It's about time we get a new season. I look, and it turns out console's just behind. PC has had the new season 3, for a good month now. I get why we don't have it though. The curse is you have to submit everything for cert. So Sony has to go through and say, okay, you're not going to brick our systems, you're not causing any security breaches, usual stuff. But then on top of that, it takes like, for most games, I'd say big updates can take a while. Especially smaller studios, it can take a month. Just because they don't get priority. And if anything gets sent back and issues like that, it's just really annoying and a bit inconvenient. I wish we'd get the new season though, because it looks like we get potentially new chaos enemies, and if anything, it's just new content. Plus, the season of the Warp Surge, the relic we can slot in isn't that good. What it is, I'm trying to think what it does. It's like warp damage or warp resistance, so it's very limited in its utility. I'm just not a fan. Plus, I always think stuff like that should just be added to the game naturally, as opposed to gating it off as extra content for a season. I've made my argument before in games like this. Why would you make new content just to make it a limited run thing? and then not make it available again. Especially when it's not like it's a battle pass or something. There isn't really FOMO that you're trying to induce to get sales. Just peculiar to me. There isn't really anything new in terms of 40K news. Nothing new on miniatures, nothing new on games. We're just kind of in that lull between information and releases. I haven't heard anything new about Darktide. I haven't really looked, but I figure someone would mention it. I follow enough people on Twitter who are fans of 40K, someone would say something. And I've said everything I can really say before. I hope it is well made. I hope they don't screw up too badly. The devs worked on Vermintide, so they have experience. Just don't make it too grindy, give us a bunch of stuff to do, and it'll be fine. I do wonder if they're gonna have DLC like before, or if they're gonna try something different for monetization. I know discussing monetization isn't the most interesting thing, but it's core to games. And I think it's something that needs to be discussed and kind of thought about. Because otherwise, if nobody really talks about it, then studios, at least from my experience, seem to feel they have free reign to do whatever scummy thing they want to do. Prime example being you look at Battlefront 2.
Target acquired.
People weren't really talking about that whole loot box fiasco initially, and I mean, they made the game dependent on loot boxes, and then people finally got angry. I honestly think it was like Facebook moms or something who really started fighting against it, and Disney cares more about, you know, some Facebook moms who are going to buy their kids Star Wars stuff over a bunch of nerds who are the fans who spend gratuitous amounts of money on the stuff. Oh, actually, speaking of Star Wars, one thing I found out was... So they have this space, it's like a starship that's a big hotel that you stay in, and it's like a enclosed experience, whatnot. It's like 2-person bedrooms, and it costs, I think, like $2.5 to $3 I want to say, for a 2 per person. Yeah, because
beacon in range.
The total is like $4,000, a little over $4,000 for 2 people in a room for the 2-day experience. And I just sat there thinking, I love Star Wars, but I'm not paying that much for a 2-day experience. There's just nothing they can offer that is worth $4,000. Even if I was a kid, I think my parents would have been like, no, you can settle with literally anything else. So that is just absurd. And I think the whole reason it's so high is just to recoup the losses, because they had to build an entire structure. And God knows what's been actually put inside the place. It could be, once again, absolutely absurd, the amount of stuff that they've had to shell out for that can't realistically be repurposed. But at a certain point, you have to look at it, once again, from a business standpoint and go, is this really going to pay for itself? Especially now, you know, dealing with this pandemic that seems to never go away. People are still unemployed. A lot of people, there just aren't jobs for them to come back to. And you really think there's gonna be a big enough demand for a multi-$1,000 weekend vacation. It's just not going to happen. And as we saw when the lockdowns first happened with Disney, being honest here, they lost their ass over it. It cost them so much money to shut down the parks and stuff. If something even half as bad as that happens, I can't imagine things going well, and it's going to cost them a ton. Okay, we've got half the demo timer left. What's the map look like? Alright, we'll go right. I kind of regret putting the extra Uther's Tarot stuff on. If this was just an extermination, I wouldn't care, or a purge. But I was stupid and didn't read that it was a Silence the Guns mission. Because these can get real bad. Oh boy, the one thing I didn't want to see, a Psyker. Because if there's one thing that is near guaranteed to kill me, it's the Psyker. I wish my gear wasn't terrible. If I had a mine, I'd be fine. Also, if I could lose these stupid chaos spawn. Well, that helped at least. On the upside, at least he's slowed, and now he should be effectively staggered. Since he has no
Loading.
No green bar, I can't remember the name. Effectively morale. And now he explodes. Yeah, if it's just another Psyker, I can handle it. If it's a tank, I'm gonna have to figure out something to get around it. It's probably gonna be another Psyker, since we have Black Legion here. If the invisibility was a little bit better, this wouldn't be a problem, but it isn't. Really wish I'd actually bothered to read into like the sniper builds people said let you just absolutely breeze through content. But I also don't want to do that, because where's the fun in watching a dude just walk through every encounter? Okay, a third of the meter left. That slows down with these guns going down, so this will be easy. Just the enemy. I was looking at Battle Sector, some gameplay for that, because it's effectively 40K XCOM, but instead of commanding individual guys, you command an entire squad, unless it's like a unique, your HQ units. But it looked pretty interesting. I just don't know, it looks like you can only play as Space Marines and Sisters of Battle, which is kind of a bummer. I would hope. I'd rather them just go full bore and say, hey, you can play as everyone. I would willingly, and I'm surprised I'm even saying this, I'd willingly buy some expansions that are, 2 factions at a time. Hey, another sorcerer. Oh god, he's got the grenades. That's not good. The grenades are the worst. Usually, because every time I fight the guys with the grenades, they also coincidentally come with the, I just call it the Shadow Clone Jutsu. And then I'm fighting, 3 guys who coincidentally, even though they're supposed to be just mirror images, can deal 100% of the damage that the main guy does. Which I think might be a design oversight, because there is no way that's an intended feature. Yeah, Battle Sector seems pretty cool. I might wait and see just where development goes. I'll probably look into it a bit more. Okay, no explosion. But I'd like to see, even semi-random map gen. It could just be pretty much like a skirmish mode, because I'd play against AI for fun. Not gonna sit here and try to do some elite PvP. It's not my style. Plus, with every strategy game, I find strategy games have some of the absolute sweatiest people. And that's surprising because I sometimes, depending on the year, will play Call of Duty. And I've dealt with the absolute crackhead, 6 KD drop-shotting, Adderall-fueled, insane people. And I think they're less sweaty. But strategy games, those guys, they are another level. They're the dudes who are like, oh yeah, I figured out that if you do this one animation with this character, and you hit this button activating ability mid-animation 3 frames in, he gains invincibility and it glitches him out and he can't be targeted anymore. And it's like, why were you testing for this? This is a very specific and niche thing for you to focus on. Yay!
Still alive and more or less in one piece. That's a success, I guess. Initiating
Did I do
exfiltration
anything
rituals.
worthwhile? I'm actually gonna check right now. No. Cortex fragment. Oh well. That was a good challenge, and I think that's... Oh, there's a little part of the map. We're gonna go check that quick. Because I'm not gonna let that go. There could be loot. Or just a bunch of bums. Okay. I mean, I'll fight them. It's XP. I need levels at this point too, so I'm not gonna complain too much. They really couldn't bother adding a chest here. Random generation be damned. Wow. Just rares. I mean, I'll take the Uther's Tarot, that's useful. Everything else will just get dumpstered. Hey! I don't know what challenge I completed, but... Hey! Consume force... Oh. Huh. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.